Here we can try something with the placement of the castle. You see there's plenty of trees here on the left side. We could accentuate the imbalance by placing the castle really far right on the upper right corner and having a lot of foreground negative space in a way with this tree. So I will try to compose that. So I tried to come early enough to have the first lights hitting the castle here. So it only touches like one face of the castle, which creates more depth and a little bit more of an interesting lighting conditions. Also quite lucky with the weather. There's not too much wind, so all the pond here, the water is pretty quiet. There's a little bit of texture there, but still we have a nice reflection of the castle in the water. Looks almost perfect, I would say. Really love this angle because we have the light nicely hitting the trees here, and now see it's end of September, so the trees are slightly turning yellow, so it adds a lot of warmth in the shot. We have the castle peeking through here. I came a little bit closer, and you know that I'm a huge fan of the Dutch tilt. And here I think it works because by using the Dutch tilt, I can place the castle kind of circled around these nice branches with plenty of leaves that are nicely hit by the light now. And with the Dutch tilt, I can put more emphasis on the tree and having the castle just nicely placed in the bottom left corner, and I think the balance works better. And by tilting the perspective, it adds a little bit of mystery, a sense of not really knowing what's going on, but on an aesthetic point of view, it really works, I think. Today I'm shooting in Hiroshima early morning with a pretty funky lens. I'm using a new 28mm from Viltrox that has some particular features. It is a 28mm prime with a fixed aperture of f4.5. It has autofocus, and basically that's the only way you can focus with the lens because you cannot use it with a manual focus. It has no manual focus ring on it. It's a pancake lens, one of the tiniest lenses I've ever seen. It's almost the size of a lens cap, and is it even a pancake at this point? It's almost like crepe. And initially for today I had plans to use other gear. I was hesitating between a 35 or bringing out my Ricoh, but I just got the lens yesterday and I used it a little bit yesterday evening, and it was so much fun that I wanted to use it again today. It is so small and so light on my A7C II that I'm pretty confident I can use it for long stretches of time, and being very limited with this fixed aperture of f4.5 makes the shooting experience very fun. I'm never really changing my settings, I just play with the exposure compensation and just spend more time focusing on what's happening around me and what would make a good photo. But the lens is far from being perfect. It has some crazy flare and ghosting issues, but in some situations it can look quite good. The sharpness seems alright actually, but with the flare and some vignetting and all these kind of quirks, I think it's not a lens you can expect to use in a very serious environment where you have to deliver something, but it is a very fun lens to use. But I'm super pleased with the idea from Viltrox of taking the challenge and manufacturing such a lens. I can see it very relevant for street and everyday photography, and I hope it will give ideas to other brands to maybe challenge them and enter into the competition and maybe offer a more premium alternative to this one. Here we have a very simple shot. I will try to make it super symmetrical, but I just like the look of this it's a public bath, And the thing here is that if I don't squat down, like you don't really see me, but I'm super squat down now, the letters here would not appear. Like if I stand up, you see the green thing is cutting through the letters here, which doesn't look that great. So by squatting down, I can separate them and have like a repetition of the letters here and on top, and I think it looks better. There's a pretty cool light here, so I should go that way. Here I like how dynamic this scene is. We have this path that goes under the train tracks. There's always some people on their bicycle here. We have the light peeking through the right side that comes into a few spots. We don't have a lot of it, but I think it looks quite good. And then I just waited to have one single subject riding the bicycle towards me and grabbed a few shots. Here I'm not trying to capture a particular subject. I mean, I guess the subject is these 4 pillars with the light that goes through. Just look so nice, and if we are a bit careful with the composition, we can make sure to have this line and this line ending on the bottom corners of the frame, so we have a good sense of balance and symmetry. So yeah, I will try to compose that. Here we have something pretty interesting looking. It is a bit wide here on the Osmo Pocket 3 end if I shoot it at 28mm, but if I jump into crop mode and have a 40mm equivalent, I can focus on this section and have some nice and interesting colors with this orange here. But then it's all about these repeating patterns that we have on this building. It looks very squared, symmetrical, and yeah, I like that. And by cropping and by cutting out the sky, it also makes it a bit more interesting because we don't really know what it's all about. And yeah, I like when there's a bit of a mystery in photos. Pretty cool little ramen shop. I like this section, creating some shapes, line, colors with blue, red. I don't know why, but yeah, I like that. I like this tree here with the vending machine. There are 2 complementary colors, green and red. It would be so nice to have someone walking here, but I've been waiting for 5 minutes and nothing happened. The light is good, so yeah, I'll give it another few minutes. It's interesting here we have this nice temple with the flag, all the greenery on the left side, but the light hitting this very simple white building really attracts me more than the temple. I still frame it in a way to include both buildings, but really for me here the star of the show is this one. Just took a very centered symmetrical shot of this beautiful scene. It's a nice big entrance to the temple, and you see there are like some patches of light like going through the trees, and someone was walking towards the temple with an umbrella, pretty bright umbrella, so I could catch the moment where she was right in a pocket of light, and it creates nice contrast, and hopefully it will turn out great. So I will wrap up this video with further thoughts on the lens back here at home. I will repeat myself, but it is probably the most amount of fun I had shooting in my city of Hiroshima in a long time. I think going forward I might go back to shooting 35 and more 28mm when I'm shooting here locally in Hiroshima, and focus on capturing the unusual, whether it comes from one character or some people doing funny things, or even in still life. There is a photographer I really like called Shin Noguchi, all attached on Instagram, and he's Japanese, and I guess he's shooting a lot with 28mm. Unlike some street photographers from London or New York, he respects a fair amount of distance with his subject, despite shooting that wide, and I really find his work very inspiring, and yeah, I invite you to have a look. Regarding the lens, I wish it was a little bit better optically speaking, but let's not forget the size and compactness of it. Also the fact that it is for full frame, it has autofocus, and it costs only $100. The photos come out with some character, a lot of it, and I know some of you like that, and I have to be honest, I really like the result on some of the pictures, but I wish that the flare and ghosting and basically how the lens behaves with the light was a little bit more predictable. I hope it will give some inspiration invitation to other manufacturers to step into that game of fixed aperture prime lenses, because the more competition there is, the more likely it becomes to have even more good lenses in the end. I like that third-party lens manufacturers are really taking risk and trying to spice up this practice of photography, and I can only give my respects to Viltrox for that and coming up with this lens, and I just hope to see more of these funky lenses in the future. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a like or a comment, it really helps with the algorithm and all that. Subscribe for more, and thanks a lot for watching. See you next time. Bye.